What up, you guys? You guys are tuned in to the GM podcast. We are on the road with you guys. We love being on the road with you guys. This is something that we do normally every day, I would say. And it just feels good to speak to you guys. Let them know what's up, partner.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope everybody's doing well.
Hey, yeah, we're on the road right now on the 5 freeway going south. We are heading up through through the Grapevine actually, and it's pretty high elevation over here. And speaking of high elevation, we'd like to talk to you guys today about high frequencies and how these high frequencies play a big role in our lives as a kid, as an adult, or as a young adult. And we just wanted to tell you guys what are the people with high frequencies, how they manage in your life, where do they fit in, and people with low frequencies as well.
Well, this is something very awesome that I just barely discovered. And I think it kind of like, I think life kind of domino affects you. For instance, when you go through something in your life where you're looking and seeking for change, and then you encounter certain truths about the world, about yourself, and it opens up your eyes. And frequency is one of those things that I encountered through self-healing. I don't even know how. Like you bump into, thank goodness for YouTube because YouTube has become the professor to a lot of us. And I think if the internet is used properly, wisely, you can learn a lot, and it's very beneficial to your lifestyle. So let's touch a little bit on the high frequency. What I've discovered, and a lot of the things that I bring up, I'm not an expert in, but I've read up on it, or I've seen professors speak about it. So I think high frequency is one of those things that is, people don't understand how important it is to your body, to your mind, and your soul. First of all, we are all composed, and our bodies are mostly water, 75% water. And water travels, we all know how water travels. It's like, like the light, electricity travels through water like quickly. And they're saying frequency, there's a vibration in the frequency that affects our thinking process, and it also affects our DNA, either the rebuilding of our DNA or the destruction of our DNA. And I really, really hope that people always, after listening to us or listening to other people, I hope they always do their own research. And I think the high frequency subject is one of those things where I highly recommend everybody look it up and research it yourself, because I think a lot of us are out of tune. We're all like instruments right now. We're all like instruments who are kind of like out of whack. A lot of our souls don't align. A lot of our spiritual realms don't align. And you mentioned people, partner, about people with high frequency and low frequency. It is exactly why, because they're out of tune. They're out of tone. They're not aligned with themselves. They're not aligned with their souls or their minds. And you could feel people's presence. And I know that people, even when you're of low frequency, and what does that mean when you're of low frequency? It means you have a lot of darkness in your heart. Not that you're a bad person. I don't want people to misunderstand or just to hear what they want to hear.
Well, there's also a lot of Debbie Downers out there.
Well, because they're low frequency, in my opinion. And so when you walk around with these negative thoughts, when you walk around with these negative or traumas, or you walk around with always victim mentality, you tend to vibrate on a lower frequency rather than listening to yourself and say, oh my gosh, I got to change. Start thinking positive, start feeding yourself. And we have, what's really cool, partner, that we have podcasts that kind of back up what we say. In other words, everything we speak about kind of correlates back to pretty much everything. We talk about strong mentality. We talk about removing negative people out of your life. Now we're talking about frequency. We're talking about financial abundance. Everything kind of is a circle and correlates with everything at the end of the day and builds who you are. Yeah. So high frequency I should stop calling it high frequency because not everything is high frequency. Frequency is in everything. Frequency is in the vibration of the road. As we speak right now, we are causing the road to vibrate. Frequency is in music. Frequency is within ourselves. When your heart beats, it vibrates through, like it communicates. That's how it communicates with the other cells. It's a very beautiful thing, and I don't fully understand it, but it fascinates me so much. And people with high frequency and low frequency are one of those, either you got to watch out for certain people because they will lower your frequency, your vibration, or they will help you elevate it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I have an interest. I'm glad that you introduced me to these high frequencies. It's one of those things where I've never really dipped into, but once I did, I adapted fully to it. They use high frequencies with meditation. They use high frequency noises through when you go and get your massage. Why? Because it helps you evaluate your inner core. And you start to think of, what are the things that you start to think of when you start to meditate. I mean, if you guys ever have done any type of meditation, it you escape yourself. You escape your body, and you put yourself in a position where everything around you is going to hell, but inside of yourself there's peace. And that's why I'm glad that you brought up the high frequency noises or music to me, because I've always heard in the background of what these noises can do, and within a split second that it's different. It's not just any type of music. And with just the same thing with people, if you do find yourself, let's take you back to high school. If you were hanging out with these these kids that were up to no good, you can feel their vibe. You can feel their frustration and what they have. So much anger towards anything on what they want to conquer on the end of the day. And either you subtract yourself from them, or they're gonna do it for you. But if they could bring you along with them, that's exactly what's gonna happen. So either you stand firm on what you believe in, which is out of the goodness of your heart, you're gonna do what's best for you, of course. But if you have friends, if you have people that are in your life right now, and they drag you down with them, and that it's not the direction that you want to dip into, it's easy to fall in that cycle. But like I said, I'm glad that you brought these high frequency music noises to me, because I'm able to sleep well at night. I wake up refreshed. And I even use it sometimes. Well, I wouldn't say all the time, but I would say sometimes I would use it in the morning to just get my day started. And it feels like it just feels like a breath of fresh air, honestly. And if you in the mornings right now that it's getting cold and everything, step outside, go outside and in the early crisp morning and breathe in that air. You'll know the difference between a good solid type of air and which is going to keep you somewhat down. But nevertheless, if I can go back into my DJing days, yes, I used to DJ, guys. With the headphones on, you would hear certain noises. You would hear certain music, and it's good to get the crowd going and everything. Especially like if you're in a club type of environment. There's these people that are very happy and they hear these high frequency noises. They're all having a good time. But if I can dip back into one of the times that I DJ'd at parties at houses, I remember fights being broken out, and I'm sure with a mix of booze and alcohol, and the music that I was playing, it wasn't gonna go well. There was either gonna be a fight that's gonna break out, or something was gonna happen. A couple of times my equipment did kind of come at risk, but luckily I was able to get it out. But nah, man, it's the frequencies in music and the things that you listen to do affect you on a daily basis. Ever since I stopped DJing, though, I started getting more into instrumental music, and I mean like not like orchestra, but even though I think that's still cool. Like if I listen to orchestra now, like I appreciate it. It's not that I'm gonna go and listen to it the whole damn day, but instrumental music really does play a big role on how you live your life. You're more at peace. You're more in tune with what music has to offer, and you appreciate it much more. You listen to rap and what the garbage that's coming out of these guys' mouth on a daily basis. That's really your life, and I started dipping into I listen to a lot of lo-fi hip hop now. It's just beats. There are no words in it, no words involved. Here and there you'll get like a piece of a record that was playing in the background, kind of like an a cappella. But for the most part, it's just beats. It's just instrumental music with hip hop like influence type of beats, snares, and the 808s. And all those things, they play a big key in my heart because that's what I grew up with, And listening to that now, I appreciate music much more, The old school rap, which is what I listen. If I were to listen to any type of school hip hop music, it'd probably be the old school rap. This new generation stuff is kind of weird, but yeah, man. Think of music. Music has a big role in people's frequencies and how they live a daily lifestyle. And especially what happened over the weekend with this Travis Scott concert. This guy, his frequency level of music, it's just sporadic. It's out there. It's very I don't know what the word is for it, but it doesn't. I mean, if you think about what has happened this past weekend in this concert with people dying, I mean, there's something going on with that frequency. There's something not mixing. There's something that's not getting in tune with their inner selves, and it's very demonic, I would say. It's very hellish.
Yeah, the whole Travis Scott concert I think is really getting people's attention because people at his concert literally described the concert to feel like hell. And ain't nobody that I know has literally gone to hell, but we only imagine and we're told stories on how horrific hell may be. So they described this concert to being similar to something you would think hell is like. And I don't know, man, it's really strange. First of all, if we go back into history a little bit, for whatever reason, I believe it was like in the 1940s or the 1950s, Rockefeller, like what business does Rockefeller have other than the oil business? This tycoon literally like involved himself in every aspect of everybody's lives. He began to change the school system. He began to change the pharmaceutical industry. And for what reason he changed, I don't even know with how, or I'm sure money always talks. He changed the frequency in our music to a lower vibrational frequency. And people automatically assumed this guy is trying to deteriorate us internally. Because when you start messing with, or you start changing frequencies that can alter our DNA and can alter our mind, turn us from good, caring people into soulless, watered down human beings. I mean, is it that they are trying to accomplish? It's very interesting, and I'm not making any of this. I might not be exact on the dates, but I know it was around the 1940s or 1950s that the music industry changed the frequency so that everybody can listen to a lower frequency. It's very interesting. Also, too, I like to touch bases on. I seen this very educational documentary on frequency that doctors have discovered that you can actually zap cancer cells. You're listening correctly. You can zap cancer cells with a certain type of frequency. Doctors, or I should say, the big pharma does not tell you this for a lot of monetary reasons. They don't tell you this. They don't want you to know. And they've ruled out that this type of medical study is not good for you. That they kind of throw it in there with the it being a type of quack, because they don't believe, or they, not that they don't believe, but they don't push the natural healing. So that to me was fascinating. Like, why aren't they saying this? I thought the government wanted us to be healthy. Like with this whole pandemic thing, they're pushing mandates because they want all of us to live, supposedly. So why don't they come out and say what we have already discovered? Because they don't want us healthy. They don't want us healthy. There's a reason why they changed the frequency in the music. There's a reason why they changed the school system to dumb us down, to numb us down. There's a reason why they have turned certain things against us. Like, there's a lot of things that we don't know and that we should know. So frequency, high frequency, low frequency is something that I think everybody should know, because it is what we expose ourselves to. We expose ourselves to people who tend to walk around in a very low frequency state, and it lowers our frequency, or vice versa. I consider myself a very high frequency person. I try my best to always be positive, and I'm not in denial. I know that when life is tough, I know that I may feel a certain way, but it's my responsibility to try to increase my frequency again by feeding the proper food into my head, into my brain. It goes along to what I said the last time. You need to feed you need to read, you need to listen to motivation, you need to listen to motivational speakers, to videos, whatever you can do to uplift that vibration. Because I think, honestly, a lot of people right now, the whole world is out of tune.
Definitely. Same thing with what you said earlier. We're all out of whack, and when it comes to high frequencies or frequencies in general, we hear these things. And same thing when you're tuning your radio, your stereo, with an equalizer. What's inside of your ear? It's the equilibrium, what keeps you level. So when you're dipping into high frequencies, when you're dipping into low frequencies, when you're dipping into people with high and low frequencies, it's not science. There is science behind it, but it's not. It doesn't take a rocket science to figure this out. You think of You think of blind people, deaf people.
Yeah.
They start to establishing and start to fortify their other senses, right? And they can feel positive and negative energy when it's presented to them. You know, you think of the artist Beethoven. The guy was deaf, and he felt the vibration inside of him. He felt, and that's why he was able to play so damn well. Same thing with blind people. You know, if a certain they start to they can feel a certain presence in front of them, around them. It doesn't, you know, you close your eyes for 10 minutes and just don't do anything, you're gonna feel a different type of energy around you, and it's gonna be your aura. That aura is gonna define whether it's a good negative or positive or shitty type of frequencies that you are letting out. You're spewing this out of your pores, you guys. So it is important for you guys to start to noticing high frequencies around you and know which ones are the ones that you have to deal with. Next time you guys are in traffic, you know, just look something up on YouTube, you know, high frequency sounds, high frequency music. And instead of, you know, listening to the occasional rap and the BS that they spew out of their mouths, I guarantee you there's gonna be maybe three outcomes. One of them will probably be, more than likely, one of them will be peace. The other one will either put you to sleep, but either one of them is not gonna make you angry. You know, it's not gonna make you more mad at the fact that you're stuck in traffic. It's not gonna make you even more mad because, you know, you're rapping along with this rapper that's talking about nothing. So you know, just take that in consideration, you guys.
Yeah, definitely. I think mental health, you know, this all goes back to mental health. It really does. I think when you're out of tune, just like an instrument, more than likely the instrument just needs a quick adjustment. It doesn't mean that it's broken. It just probably just needs a little bit of an adjustment. So does our body and our mind. We need adjustments. And I think for the most part, most of us walk around just walking around, not really realizing that we're hurting ourselves by listening to crap, by listening to news, you know, the fake news that, you know, we all kind of know that all they do is just give us information that is not true. And all they try to do is amplify the fear. And so therefore it lowers our vibrations. It's all a domino effect of what they feed us. They're trying to scare us. They're trying to have all of us live in fear and panic. And that lowers your vibration. In fact, I heard, and I'm not too sure, but this is what I heard from another vibration frequency video that I heard the other day, that fear is one of the lowest vibrations out there. Fear is one of the lowest. So what are you doing to your body and to your mind, specifically your mind? Without the mind, there is no body. Your body doesn't function without a brain. So what are we really doing here with ourselves? You know, we're feeding, it's not just vitamins. You don't just go eat junk food and expect the vitamins to pick up all the slack. There's maintenance you have to do to your body. There's maintenance and tune-ups you have to do to your brain. And so why not look into it? People think it's funny or oh yeah, okay, vibrations, yeah, you know, that sounds interesting. But why not? It's not hurting anything. It's not hurting anybody to look into it, and, you know, just realize that. Open up your mind. I think a lot of us are very close-minded to so many things. We're so close-minded to a lot of things, actually. And if you open up your mind just a little bit and start listening to other people, what their experiences are like, what the things that have helped people overcome tragedies, or things that help others lift them up, or whatever it is. Why don't we listen? We're so quick on responding and judging. Yeah. So frequency, whether it's good or it's bad, it exists. And we all know that. Even though we're not experts, or maybe you don't know that frequency exists, but you sure know, and you could sure sense somebody else's energy. So, I mean, that's really all I have to say about this, because I really think this is a very important topic that I think everybody should look into. Just look into it. See if maybe we're lying. Maybe we're lying and we got it all wrong. Look into it and see and see for yourself that frequencies, vibrations, energies, and vibes absolutely do exist. And if you really think about it, that's why we all walk around drugged. That's why the big pharma tries to drug you. Every time you're sick or every time something hurts, here, take this mind-numbing pill. Because they want to numb your soul. They don't want you to be in contact with your frequencies and vibrations. They don't want you to feel what nature has to offer. They don't want you to feel the love. They don't want you to feel all the goodness in the world is being numbed by pills, by pesticides, by artificial sweeteners, by fats and grease and all these things that our bodies do not need. Honestly, if you really think about it, if we were to remove all the restaurants in the world, the earth has enough to supply you with all the nutrients you need. And the forest and nature is on its own frequency. You know, it gives off a frequency. When you go out into nature, why do you think you come back more at peace? When you turn off your phones and your laptops and computers and you don't talk to anybody other than the people that you surround yourself with, you come back more at peace. And as soon as you hit the city life, you remember why you left in the first place. So that's all I have to say. I really wish everybody really can invest more time in themselves, invest more love and attention and patience to themselves. And I guarantee you, if everybody did a little part for themselves, listen how I'm not saying do for others, because first you got to do for yourself, and then doing for others will only come naturally. So do for yourself first, help yourself. And trust me, this world will definitely be a way better place.
Sounds about right. Yeah, I remember for the first time camping myself and actually dipping into nature, you know, surrounding yourself with silence and the things that grow around you help you grow. So we like to spread out health. That's our number one. That's our number one key, is to spread out the health that you and I, partner, come through with on a daily basis. You know, being a truck driver, it's hard enough, you know, sitting on your ass all day. But with your help, I know that I can benefit certain things and go on with my life and a healthy lifestyle. That's all we got, you guys. Stay healthy out there, and we like to spread our love to you guys. Peace out.